yeah, I'm just kind of reflecting in the sense of like, man, like think about that. I was rejected from 3 bankers. I was rejected by 6 partners that I needed to bring on until the 7th person said yes. But I kept going. Then we went, after I got my partner on board, we found a bank that would do the loan based on both of us together. Went through that process, got approved, was rejected by not 1, not 2, not 5, not 7, but probably 12 different real estate locations that I looked at over the course of 12 months. And this is just the beginning, baby.
This is gonna make a lot of money. Oh, hey guys, what's up? Come on in. Let's take a ride. All right, guys, so come on in. Check it out.
So guys, today I have something extremely exciting for you. And I'm gonna sit down here. Don't mind my house being a mess or my dog who's frantically running around. But today I'm gonna share some exciting news with you guys and let you witness something really cool in my journey. So check it out.
Shit, I need a pen. So, what had happened was my battery died in the middle of that. So, what I was saying was I'm about to sign my commercial lease here, and I wanted to explain to you guys basically the process that I had went through just to get to this point, to where I'm signing a lease and I'm about to go into about 8 weeks of construction to get this thing open, and then we will have something to show you along the process and show you the opening and what goes into running a franchise and doing more of them. But the crazy thing is, the story of how I got here was filled with trials and tribulations and setbacks. First of all, it's taken me over 12 months just to get to this point, to get to the lease. Now, that's okay, because here's the thing. You want to pick the right piece of real estate. The one thing you can't fix while you're operating a company is where the fuck it's located. All right? So, and you're signing, this is a 10-year commitment. So you want to be in a great spot that's going to have growth and has high traffic and checks all the boxes. So it's better to be patient and pick the right location than be not patient and pick the wrong one. So, first and foremost, I started looking into this franchise. I closed on my franchise fee and my master's license around November, maybe October-ish of last year sometime, somewhere around 12 months ago. And I remember I walked into this concept that was in my local area, and I said, fuck. I love this thing. I love the food. I love the atmosphere. I love the customer base. I understand what they're doing. It's everything I would want in a business. And I'm literally sitting there in the restaurant and I'm just counting heads and dollar signs, and I'm watching them with a line out the door, just dollar after dollar after dollar. I mean, they're printing money. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, I want to buy one of these things, right? So I sold some of my real estate. I'm like, I got some money. I want to buy one. How do I buy it? Find out you can't buy it. So I'm like, shit, what am I going to do? Well, one of my mentors at the time his name's John Thomas, and you can look him up. He's one of the former CEOs of this ginormous company called QVC. Extremely smart businessman, very, very intelligent, very aggressive, just doesn't give up, entrepreneur through and through, just a great dude. And he's been one of my mentors that I've flipped some houses with. So at the time, I sat down with him just to catch up and said, hey, I'm looking at this thing, and one of my real estate buddies, we were talking about maybe kind of creating the same concept, but creating our same brand, our own brand. So being kind of more like not a franchise where I'm not buying a system, but our own brand.
And I said, but I'm kind of scared. There's so much more risk because we have to figure everything out and start from scratch and do all the branding and the marketing and all this different shit, where with a franchise, a lot of that stuff would be done for me. And so I was sitting down with John and I was telling him about this, and I was like, I think that's going to be the play for the next 15 years. I think that business is going to continue to crush. It's healthy, it's non-restricting from a diet perspective. You can eat any type of diet. It's reasonably priced, and it's fast and it's delicious and blah, blah. So he's like, well, it's ironic that you're talking to me about this because I actually just started this franchise business, and I teamed up with this long-time, super successful franchise guy that understands franchising. So the franchise component, and then he's kind of the corporate growth and high growth strategy. And these kind of guys kind of teamed up together to build a different concept at the time. It was a poke concept. And I said, you know what? If I'm going to invest in a concept, I want to put my money on you because I believe in this person, and he showed me a way that I could monetize even further beyond just owning one location in the royalties and with the franchise fees. And so I said, look, man, I know that if I bet on you, you're going to win. And I want to be a part of you winning, and I want to learn and grow, understand new business, and I want to be involved in growing this company with you. And so I said, look, I'm in. I felt like there was opportunity. Sometimes it hits you. Sometimes it's not the right time. Doesn't feel like the right time. But you know what? I made it the right time, and I dove in, and this was over a year ago. And then I started looking at real estate. Okay? So now my journey begins 12 months ago. Again, just to get to here, right? Just to get my lease. So I'm looking at real estate. And I had a variety of different things happen to me. So this is what happened. First and foremost, after I signed, I wired them the franchise fee, $49.5, sent the money out, sent my investment for the masters. And now I start looking at real estate. Well, I'm negotiating spots, and I'm finding stuff here, and I'm working with the broker that's involved in our team, and we're just looking site after site. This one works, this one doesn't work, this one works, this one doesn't work. And I go and we start negotiating these, and for every reason, no matter what would happen with the space, the landlord, it just wouldn't work. We'd get down the line, we'd negotiate a deal for 2 or 3 months, and some big, huge brand would come out, like a Starbucks or something, would bid on the same space I was bidding on, and the landlord every time would take them over me. I'm like, hey man, I'm starting, I'm getting going, like you got to believe in me, I'm going to crush this, like I promise, whatever, and I'm financially able to do this, blah, blah, blah. They didn't care. They just wanted the security of that tenant that has that long standing, and they've got great, what they call credit, corporate credit, and corporate guarantees. So I probably negotiated 12 different deals in the real estate to get a lease, right? And this deal actually that's on the table right here, I actually passed on this deal the first time, but then I went back and looked at it from a little bit of a different angle and made more sense of it. So probably 12 different deals negotiated. Now, each one of those deals can take 3 weeks to 3 months. And sometimes I wasted 3 months negotiating this deal, and then it would fall apart at the last minute. Then I had to start over from square one. I mean, I must have been devastated on 10 plus different locations, but I kept going. I said, I'm going to get one. Just got to keep going. Just got to get the first one. Once I get the first one, the second one will be easier. I just got to push through. That was the big hurdle. Now, there were other hurdles involved too. I went to the bank first time. I was going to get an SBA loan to fund opening this and the construction and all the things that go into opening it and marketing and payroll and all this other stuff. It's typically how you fund your franchise investments. So I go to the first banker. Oh, I can get you approved. No worries. I'm like, hey, I got a 750 credit score. I got good income. I got the money that I need to put up. I've got everything. Well, I've got everything, but I don't have collateral. Well, they're like, I'm like, is this not good enough? So I went to the first person. They said, we can't get the deal done. You either need collateral or you need industry experience. And I didn't have either. So I said, shit. Okay, I'm like, well, I'm going to go to a different lender. Go to another lender. I give them my package. Now, granted, when you're submitting to a lender for these type of things, you have to prepare like hundreds of documents, bank statements, business plans, projections, everything you can think of.
So it's not easy. And then I go to the second person. Second person says to me, I can get you approved. Don't worry. I looked at your profile. You'll be fine. Run through the process. Underwriter comes back. Can't get this guy approved. Why? Well, his tax returns aren't strong enough. He has good income for this last year, but he didn't report near as high of income for the previous years, and he doesn't have collateral, and he doesn't have industry experience. So I'm like, well, that's what the first person said, and I told you that going into it, and you said you could get it done, and you still can't get it done. So the second lender now told me no. Then I go to a third. The third says the same thing. I can do it. They say, no, can't do it by yourself. The only way you're going to get this done is if you raise a partner. Now, they don't have to be a 50-50 partner, but they're going to need to be willing to put up collateral, and they're going to need to be willing to sign on the personal guarantee of the loan. And I'm like, whoa, that's a tough ask to ask someone to do. You got to put liens on people's houses. So I'm at a standstill. I've got this investment. I'm having trouble with the real estate. I've already shelled out the money. I've had these bankers deny me 3 times now. And I'm like, fuck, man. Like, what am I going to do? So naturally, I start reaching out to the guys that I'm connected with that have money and are constantly investing in opportunities in real estate and businesses and so on and so forth. So I pitched one of the best guys I know. He's like, I love it. I love you. I want in. Wasn't the right time for him. It's like, I'm sorry, I got too much other crap going on, but I loved everything. And so I went to the next guy. He was like, I don't really want to do this. I think there's too much risk involved. Not for me. So I'm now denied twice in raising capital that I didn't even know I had to raise. I had to raise a partner, a little bit more cash that I needed, and the personal guarantee and the collateral that I needed. So now I'm denied twice. Go to the third person, same thing. Drags it on for 2-3 weeks, says, I don't want to do it. It's not right for me right now. Fourth person, same thing. Pitch them, give them everything. Yeah, you know what, Logan, I love you. I know you're going to be successful. You're going to be amazing, and you're going to crush this, but not with me. Sorry, man. Can't do it. And I'm like, shit, dude. What the fuck am I going to do? So, turned to Instagram, and I reached out to one of my mentoring students who was a really successful real estate attorney and also was a good flipper out in California. And I always liked the dude. We always had great phone calls. We always, bonded really well. And I remember on one phone call specifically, he mentioned to me, hey, Logan, if you ever have an opportunity where I can invest with you and we can have a business or some sort of opportunity, I'd love to see if it's something I'd want to do, because I think you're a hustler and I think no matter what, you're going to succeed. I'd love to be a part of something. And I didn't even think about it. And so when I hit that and I had nowhere else to turn, I gave him a call. I shot him a text and I said, hey man, I actually have one of those opportunities, and I'm kind of in the market for a partner and some capital, and I'd love to kind of go over it with you and show it to you. So he's like, yeah, man, I'd love to. Let's set up a time. So we set up a time. We have a call. We have a conversation. And so I pitch him, and I show him the details, and I go over the information. And he's like, I really like it. I think it makes sense. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I think we could get this done. And we just got to come to terms on what would make sense for both of us. And I said, awesome. Let's figure out what makes sense. And let's go to work. Let's build a business. Let's get this deal done. So we made an agreement. And here's the best part about this agreement. Guys, if you think the power of Instagram is not out there, you're lying. Like, not only have I sold a franchise from Instagram already, but I raised my partner in this circumstance. I met him from Instagram. Never met the dude in person until this opportunity happened. And then they flew out. We got together in a weekend. We spent some quality time with each other. We got to know each other, him and his wife, both beautiful people, unique personalities. And so he became my partner. So we wrote up a partner agreement. And from there, we just started chipping away month after month at the real estate, chipping away. Finally, we got something that aligned, that made sense. But there were several times where we had to change paths. We had to change strategies. And now we're so close. So this finalizes the lease. We'll get the keys next week. And then we'll be into what's called architecturals. Excuse me, guys, the architecturals. And then basically our permits will be filed here in the next couple weeks. And then it takes about 3 weeks roughly to get the permits issued. Once they're issued, then we can start construction. And then I can show you guys that process and every week what's involved in, boom, getting this thing open. So my point in sharing this, guys, with you is this was easily the most challenging endeavor I've gone on so far, and I'm sure it will create more endeavors. This was leveling up for me. This was a business that I see the potential of what it's able to generate, and it was larger than what I was generating myself. And to me, this was a way that I could go from where I was to multiple millions of dollars a year for me, in my opinion. It may not be that way for everybody, but that's how I see it. And so this was my next level. This was part of my path, my plan. And, but the moral of the story, guys, is always just get up every day and put one foot in front of the other. Solve the problems that you have for that day and try not to worry about the ones that are coming in the future. There's always going to be hurdles. There's always going to be challenges. But just keep going. I promise it'll get better. Sometimes I got to tell myself the same exact shit. And I know sometimes you don't want to listen. But this right here is the one thing that can keep you super strong and keep you going and get you to where you want to go. So, I know I've done a lot of talking. But I really, truly want to share with you guys always, like, what the real shit is. Because truthfully, like, you got to see the struggle. The struggle is what fucking makes it awesome. Alright? So, with that, I'm going to pick one of the pages where I have to sign. Literally signing my life away. When you sign this personal guarantee, what does that mean? Well, that means that if you cannot pay the bank back, or if you cannot pay the landlord their rent, they can take whatever it is you own that's of value, or they can sue you, or both, and they can take it from you to get the money that you owe them in rent. Same thing with the bank loan. So, literally, I'm signing my life away of what I own. Here we go. Let's roll, baby. It's time to make a lot of money. Stay tuned.
This is gonna make a lot of money.